Hi, my name is Victoria and I am a sophomore at Thomas Jefferson High School in Auburn. I guess I'll start from the beginning. When I was 4, my family, my mom, dad, older brother Joey, and twin sister Stephanie moved from Chicago to Seattle. On the way here, our car broke down. We had to leave most of our belongings so we could travel the rest of the way by bus. I remember my favorite toy, a crawly Mickey Mouse, one of the possessions I couldn't bring with me. I cried and cried. I loved that toy so much. But we were all together, and that's what mattered the most. When I was 6, my father was deported to Mexico. I remember touching the glass that separated us as we all cried. 9 years later, we still don't know where he is or if he is okay. It was hard for my mom on her own with us kids. For a little while, we lived with a friend from our church. But when she passed away, we had to find a new place to live. My mom started dating Daryl. He was abusive to her and to us and got my mom hooked on drugs. When Daryl left, my mom started working at a strip club to earn money and was still using drugs. Sometimes she'd be gone for a month at a time, leaving us, me and my sister, in the care of my older brother, Joey. He's only 5 years older than us, and there was a lot of responsibility for him. While my mom was gone, we didn't want to go to school, but Joey would make us. When we would miss the bus, he would walk us to school. I don't remember the distance, it just felt like a really far journey. I would think, I am never going to miss the bus again. Joey wouldn't always make it to school himself because he was taking care of us. He'd leave early to meet us after school, which meant he didn't get to play football or baseball, which he loved. We had to steal food to survive. My sister would cook. She wants to be a chef. We did the best we could to get by on our own. When I was 10, the police came to our house. We found out later that my mom asked a friend to call the cops so that we could be taken into foster care. She didn't want us to see her high and knew she couldn't take care of us. The 3 of us were moved to a foster home where me and my sister have lived ever since. Because of the choices Joey was making, he didn't live with us for very long and spent some time in juvie and a group home. My sister and I stayed in touch with him even though he lives in Kansas now. We are grateful for how he took care of us when he was just a kid himself. Stephanie and I were just adopted by our foster parents, Lanita and Michael. I can't imagine being separated from my sister, and I am glad we were able to stay together. At our quinceañera, Stephanie gave me the best present. She found the same crawly Mickey Mouse toy I had to leave behind when we were little. Having someone who knows you like that is so important. My life experiences have shaped who I am. I probably wouldn't be in school and striving for success if I hadn't been placed with my adopted parents. Growing up, my birth mom would tell me I couldn't do things, like play sports or really anything I wanted to do in life. I grew up thinking I wasn't capable of much. But when I moved in with Lanita, she signed me up for cross country. I remember telling her, I can't do that. But she insisted and drove me to my first practice and made sure I stayed. I hated it, but we had a rule in the house. We finish what we start. Then she signed me up for gymnastics, and I thought, I can't do that. But the voice wasn't as loud because I knew I had someone who believed in me. I was starting to believe I can do a lot of things. When I met my Treehouse education specialist, Abby, she had heard from my adopted mom that I didn't easily trust people. I remember at our first meeting, she told me, I'm going to work my way to earn your trust. She built a bridge with consistency. Every week she showed up to meet with me. Her actions spoke louder than her words. And I started to think, this lady might be serious. Abby is my homegirl, my counselor, and kind of like my older sister. I can tell her anything. She holds me accountable and encourages me. Every week, we meet to talk about life, and we set goals. Last year, I was having a hard time turning in all of my assignments. I wasn't doing my homework because I was distracted hanging out with friends. I told her I needed to make a time to focus on my schoolwork because I wanted to get all A's and B's. Abby offered to email me every night to remind me to get off my tablet and do my homework. So every night, she sent the email, and eventually I started paying attention. By the end of the semester, my grades went up. One of my long-term goals is to become a nurse, so I can help kids. I know it's a hard thing to accomplish, but I like having to work towards something not everyone else can achieve. Treehouse has been supporting me and my sister since we came into foster care. We shopped in the warehouse for clothes and school supplies. Little Wishes has paid for my sports fees. They even paid for me to attend a cross-country invitational at Stanford for 4 days with my team. The trip inspired me to reach for even higher goals. I was able to bond with my teammates too. It was the experience of a lifetime, and I can't thank Treehouse enough. I run cross-country and track. State is a huge goal for me in every sport I do. Over 100 girls competed to qualify for state last year. I remember how the coaches encouraged me and how I didn't want to disappoint anyone. On the day of the competition, as I was running the race, my coaches was running alongside the route, supporting me. He started yelling 64, which was our code for telling me that I was in 54th place. Only 54 girls could qualify. I kicked it into high gear and pushed through the other runners to get ahead. I looked at my coach and a big smile came across my face because I knew I could make it. I sprinted the last 800 and finished 48th. I started crying when I crossed the finish line. I realized I can do anything. I had finally proven my birth mom wrong. People all along the track of my life have encouraged me. My sister and brother, Lenita and Michael, Abby, my coaches, and Treehouse. They are all saying, "You can do this," and I believe them. Thank you for being here today and supporting Treehouse and youth like me.